Hey there, so welcome to another video. I thought I'd just give a super quick update on this really poor camera quality. I apologize for that. I'm not really set up for these kind of videos to the quality that you'd expect on YouTube now. But anyway, if you've been following along, you're doing the Odin project and you're wondering if I'm posting any more videos, I'm definitely still continuing with my Odin project journey and intend to post more videos. I've just been really busy in the last few weeks here. I started applying to jobs and getting some interviews, a decent number of interviews. I think I've sent out around 30 to 35 applications now, and I must have had about 6 or 7 interviews, and there's been a lot to learn from that, and I should do a video that's more in detail for that, because I'm sure that everybody who's doing the Odin project is very curious to see how that stage goes. But I started applying when I was just over halfway through in the Ruby on Rails track, so I had some experience using the Rails framework, built some small apps. It's maybe just enough to start getting interviews. And if you've really studied on your kind of data structures and algorithm stuff, you might have some better luck in the technical assessments too. They vary between Rails projects and kind of your general leak code style projects. I think it's a little early to apply and expect to get a job, but I think it's definitely a good time to apply when you're deeper into the Rails project path, nearer the end perhaps. And you might have more of a chance then, but still, you never know. Some people get hired out of foundations. You just try, give it a go. There's never a perfect time, and see it. For me, it's just data points. It's all data collection, right? Like I've not received any offers, so I haven't been successful, so to speak, yet. But I have learned a lot through this process. From the first interview of being super nervous for some reason, to now these interviews are much easier. But today was a bad day in terms of interviewing. It was good and bad. I learned a lot again, but it was my first live technical challenge with a company, and there were 3 engineers and myself, and we were on the HackerRank platform. And I had to solve 2 technical challenges, and I'd already had to solve 3 technical challenges in a timed, I think it was an hour, and I had 90 minutes to do 3 technical challenges a while ago. It started, like, I'll rewind it. It started with an interview, a suitability interview, then it went to a technical challenge. It was timed on your own, kind of, by yourself. I passed that, and then I got to a technical challenge with these 3 devs today, and that was tough because I've never had to code in front of anybody else before, and I didn't realize how challenging that would be, especially when you're coming into this industry as an outsider and you may have questions to yourself about are you good enough yet to be doing this? Do you know enough? Are you gonna look like an idiot? All these things go through your mind, and you get imposter syndrome. At least I did, and I'm kind of a private person anyway, so having to think out and solve a problem and show my logic to a group of people I didn't know, who know far more about this than I do, it was tough, and I froze, and it was quite awkward. I kept a smile on my face and made it lighthearted, but these problems were not hard. It was just a Fibonacci sequence. All right, so you enter a number n into the Fibonacci method, and it was supposed to return an array that showed all those values in the Fibonacci sequence, right? Pretty straightforward. And then I froze. Like I just could not think. I could not think what to do next. I got stuck on my loop, which was ridiculous because I've written so many loops, and loops in Ruby are so easy to write. I had a complete mental blank. But I got there. I solved it in the end, very painfully. And then the next challenge, he's like, "Are you sure you want to continue?" Which, yeah, that's how bad it was going. I said, "Yeah, let's keep going." And the next one was a palindrome, and that's very straightforward too, right? You just, you convert the string split, turn it into an array with each letter as an element, you reverse it, and if they are equal, the two arrays, then it's a palindrome, otherwise it's not. But passing in the quotation marks as an argument to the string method, I forgot to do that. So my string was just a single element in the array, and I'm wondering what on earth's going on. Silly stuff. So I learned a ton from that. And if you are wondering what these interviews are like, or you're preparing for one yourself, I think it's definitely good to practice coding in front of other people. And it's not just the coding, but it is the clarifying of the problem out loud, then the pseudo coding, and then the coding. And you can kind of brute force, make it ugly code, and then refactor afterwards if you want to. But I think showing the steps of your thinking and not freezing and pausing is really important. Taking a breather if you need one, but yeah, good learning experience. And I have a few more interviews lined up, so each one I think is going to get better and better and better. But in the beginning I had a ton of pressure on myself, just because, well, this is a career transition and I have so much effort gone into this, but there's also so many reservations of like, wow, is this really happening? Am I actually doing this? Can I do this? And I know I can, but in the moment you feel significantly judged or scrutinized, and perhaps it's just a matter of timing and whether or not you're ready at that stage. But I don't know, it's all good, it's all data points. Being put through the fire is it's only going to make you stronger when you come out, I think, so it's worth it. It's maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but it's good. To that end, I would definitely recommend practicing LeetCode style problems, or another good platform is Exorcism. There's HackerRank as well. There's tons out there, you'll find the ones you like, but do all the easy problems you can. Just get tons of them done, so they're only taking you 5 or 10 minutes to solve, and then move on to the mediums. I'm not even going to bother doing any of the hard ones. I just don't see the point if I'm being interviewed on a hard one. But I just don't think it really happens that often unless you're applying to FANG companies, which I'm not really interested in. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been sucking badly at technical interviews and learning a ton. Oh, and one more exciting thing, I'm on my final Rails project now, and I'm actually building a production app. So what I'm doing is, my dog, who's right down here with me, I got her from a rescue in Mexico, and it was really kind of by chance. I saw a Facebook post that there was a dog that needed adoption, and it was during the pandemic, and it was very much a grassroots effort, communicating through WhatsApp, kind of doing a sort of quasi interview with the lady, or she interviewed me as a suitable adopter. But it got me thinking, she's doing this a lot, and I just thought, well, maybe she would benefit from having a purpose-built application that helps her adoption outfit, so she can go on there. So it's her and another kind of volunteer down on the Baja in Mexico. They find these dogs, and what they'll be able to do is log in and create dog posts essentially, and then people can sign up to the website, create a user profile that has all of their details in that you typically ask in a first screening, and then they can apply to the dogs, and then the volunteers can go in and check over all the applications that come for the dogs and start their vetting process that way. And they're super stoked. I had a meeting with them, and they want to see this thing happen. It will make their life a lot easier, being able to organize their dogs and their applications a lot simpler. And it would be great for me to get the experience of actually creating a production application. And I think open source is another thing I would strongly suggest. That's another reason I haven't been making my videos as much, as I've been spending a lot of time with an open source project that was building an iOS and Android app that's a one-click finder for the local nearest local soup kitchen, for helping people who are in need of a meal find food quickly. I kind of stepped back from that. I was playing sort of a more admin role and helping out on the back end, but the tech stack is so different from what I'm used to. I really didn't want to be learning new tech because I'm having, got my hands full learning Ruby and Ruby on Rails and JavaScript. And this was being written in Python with I think it was I think they were stuck with a PostgreSQL backend, and just getting that all set up locally in the container, Docker container, and getting that all running. And Python's kind of similar to Ruby, but it just seemed like a lot to handle these kinds of two different kinds of things at once, and it didn't seem the best use of my time, but I learned a ton. I'm so grateful to have spent a couple of weeks on that project helping out. And there's still a ton of work you can do, even if you don't want to, can't contribute much to the code base. There's tons of documentation you can contribute to, etc. But then my job applications took off, and so I had to step away from that. And now my job applications, I see that I have a few deficiencies in the technical side of things, especially working with a team on a production app. So that's why I decided to make my own production app. So rambling, long story short, I'm really looking forward to getting this production app up and running, and the MVP will be, at least the back end and front end will be built by myself, and my wife's helping out a lot too, just kind of the organization of stuff. And she's into front end web development too, so that's really cool and that helps. But I want to build the MVP, and then once it is up and running, and we've proven that it works, then I want to bring in some other developers who want to contribute to the code base and develop new features and roll this thing out, scale up a little bit. I'm building it so that multiple organizations can use it at once. So it could be just one central app that's very scalable. And I know there's quite a few grassroots organizations down in Mexico, even just on the Baja alone. So I envision that one day it may serve just more than the grassroots operation that I'm working with, but it may serve several of them, which would be really awesome. So anyway, I got slapped on the wrist today by my mentor Monty. He's like, why build it just for one? Think about the future in mind when you start building these things, and scalability, which completely makes sense. So he made some suggestions on how to structure the back end to make that much more scalable, and I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, mentors are also really, really good in your journey, just to find people who have been there and done that. Meet up with them now and then and discuss what you're doing, and get input from them on recommendations on how they would do it as well. But yeah, that's my update. Things are going very hectic, fast, but I really enjoy it. And right now I'm not working, so I'm dedicated to this full time, and it's exciting. I can feel it coming closer and closer, the point where I will eventually land a job. The things just have to align. I have to be I have to have a good day on a technical interview, which I know I will have. It just takes practice, and just keep going. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions, questions, comments. Otherwise, we'll see you on the Discord, and apologies for not having any videos out recently, but I endeavor to do so. I definitely want to keep this channel moving, because I think I think people are watching it and getting some value, so it's my way of giving back just a little bit. Okay, see ya.